Let's have a hand for Floyd for doing the announcements at the last minute. I got to call his number now. I got El Presidente, and then he'll be shot and deported. Folks, welcome to the Tempe Center of the Arts and to the Arrive, Offend, and Leave comedy show. How many people are here at the Tempe Center of the Arts for one of our comedy shows for the very first time? By applause. Okay, good. I like the sound. And how many people have been here with us before? Good. Okay. Great mix of seasoned comedy veterans and newbies. You're going to have a wonderful time this show tonight. We got some of the best comics, some of the best comics who have ever performed on a hot night by a fake lake in Tempe. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to be able to say that you'll be the first to have seen many people the very last time. Thank you. If you could run around and explain the jokes to the rest of the people in the room. You're already getting them. Other people go, it's still daylight. Why are we laughing? So I'm glad you were able to get in through the Pokemon for all. Did you see? You saw that sign? I know a lot of you freaked out when you drove up and you went, $10 for parking? Hell, the company ticket wasn't that much. This is one of those tricks, isn't it? Where they say it's free seminar and then they say it timeshare. There are so many people playing this Pokemon thing that on a weeknight, I think Wednesday night, the parking lot was full with people running around staring at their phones, and then and I think several of the bums have plugged most of them now. So, some of the homeless people, like I called some of my relatives back in Missouri, a poker man. Come over here, I'll give you a poker man. I thought it was kind of a cool thing when I first saw it. I thought, it's got people outside interacting. But then we were talking to someone this morning on our, by the way, we have a podcast. If you're over 50, we have an internet-based radio station. If you're under 50, we have a podcast. And it's ComedySchoolsRadio.com, and we podcast live every Thursday and Friday morning. And then all the shows are downloadable, and we have a lot of great comics and guests on. And we had a guest on this morning from Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. And one of the people that came in with him said, "You realize what's happening, that Pokemon is God." I know, you all got quiet for a second. Okay? But she goes, when I was a kid, I played Sims. And I play Sims, is where you got people like walking around this thing. She goes, I was like God. Now, Pokemon's got me acting like the people in Sims. They're telling me what to do. And then, but she was playing, she goes, oh my God, I just got one, it's right here. It was like one of those fuckers were right next to me. In my office. They're like ghosts and stuff. I expect all of a sudden Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg to be making out someplace while making a pot.
That's funny. That was a good one.
We still enjoy that picture, don't we? Anyway, listen, we got a great show for you. I just came up to greet. I want to tell you a couple things real quick. On your tables, ladies and gentlemen, there's some cool little flyers. If you fill them out, give us your email or whatever information you would like to give us. We will send a Pokemon to your house. Only this one's going to be orange. We're making our own. No, we will be able to tell you about all the upcoming events that we have, all the great things we do here, other venues throughout the city, about all the shows that we do. Please let us know so we can become a regular friend with you and let you know about these incredible things. Fill those out. Also, there's some information about workshops coming up that we do. We got a great show for you tonight. We got people that have come in who are on national television, on Laughs TV. People have won the top contests in this city. It's a great show. I didn't put this show together. A guy came to me and goes, Tone, I would like to work with you and put together a show. His name is Mike Ramsey. Let's give Mike a hand. Just for doing all the work. And he's put together a fantastic lineup of comics, and I'm going to start out by introducing one of them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce this man. He's one of the funniest guys that I have met in the last 15 or 20 minutes, and I mean that. No, he's one of the funniest people I know, and he's a good friend of mine. He performs here on a regular basis. We're glad he's here tonight. Warm welcome, please, Floyd Haas.
Keep doing for Tony, come on. All right, Tempe Center for the Arts, how's everybody doing? Okay, wait. The way I usually do this is that I come out and I ask how everybody's doing, and I need everybody in the room to say great. So can we try this one more time? All right.
Great.
Not yet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a guy that looks a little bit like Steven Seagal. Mostly in this area, but if you've seen Seagal lately, also in this area, please welcome the comic stylings of Floyd Haas. doing tonight? Glad to hear it. Let's see, any reality show fans out there?
Yeah.
Not me. No, but I end up watching a lot of these over my wife's shoulder because she watches them. You know how that happens. Last week she was watching one. It was called Freak Shows. Anybody seen this? Where they follow a bunch of circus freaks around? The one that I saw, I don't know if you've seen it. The one I saw, they had a rubber-faced man, a half man, half woman, and a sword swallower. So it's just like the Kardashians. I actually thought of that a while back, and a while back the half man, half woman was Chloe because that was the rumor. The rubber-faced man was Bruce, and the sword swallower was Kim, but now it's all of them. Speaking of that group, Kanye West announced that he wants to run for president in 2020. I know crazier things have happened, right? I mean, and here's the thing. If Kanye became president, there's some pretending that we would all have to do. Like, if we were having a speech or dignitaries from all over the world, we would have to pretend like the President of the United States is not wearing a fur coat. And no matter how nicely she is dressed for this event, we would have to pretend like we haven't seen the First Lady's asshole. Even though he's standing right next to her, wearing a fur coat. I don't like a lot of the TV shows, like I mentioned. One of the ones is the survival shows. I don't get those. They try to make them seem like they're dangerous. Those shows are not dangerous. In fact, more people have died on Glee. One of the other reality shows, the Little People Big World. Anybody seen that? They got divorced last year, and but it's amicable, and they're going to split everything 25-25. I guess I'm spoiled because I grew up with the golden age of television with shows like The Brady Bunch. Everybody remembers The Brady Bunch, right? Yeah. And my favorite was Marcia. And Maureen McCormick wrote a tell-all book that said that after she left the show, things weren't even great for her. In fact, she was actually trading sex for drugs in the early 80s. I know, it made me feel really bad too. I had drugs in the early 80s. See some younger people here. By any chance, anybody pot smokers here tonight? You didn't have to raise your hand. I don't even know if you have a license or... Okay, anyways, I don't know if you saw this. Last week, the police arrested a woman. When they were searching her, they found a pot pipe in her vagina, which begs the question, would you hit that? I probably shouldn't be talking like this. I'm a grandpa. In fact, I have a new grandson. I did it, I threw you, right? Because I said new. I mean, geez, of course he's new. I mean, sure, we looked at used. But we were able to get the brand new grandson that we really wanted, thanks to the government program, Cash for Crawlers. And my oldest is my daughter, Amy, and she's 32. She's got the brand new baby boy and a little girl that's just turned 12. And the 12-year-old and I were watching TV, and we were watching the Justin Bieber roast, and she was upset because he was talking about all the girls he'd been with, and she was like jealous. I said, honey, you don't understand. You can never be Justin Bieber's girlfriend. You're only 12 years old, and Justin Bieber's already gay. And with the little baby, my daughter and I push him around the store all the time, and we'll put him in the shopping cart. And never fails, somebody will walk up to us and go, oh my gosh, look what a cute little baby boy, and he looks just like his daddy. I know, and they point to me. It totally creeps us out too. Not just because they're insinuating that we've been together, but because we both feel we could do better. And our newest addition is a 12-year-old girl in our house. We don't like to use the term adopted because she's more of a rescue. And my youngest son is Tanner. Tanner is 15. He and his wife don't have any children. And my oldest son is Travis. Travis just turned 29. And Travis works for the Castle Boutique. Is everybody familiar with the Castle? Okay. In case you said no. The Castle Boutique is an adult toy store. And they have the second largest collection of dildos under one roof. The largest collection of dildos under one roof is Congress. And Travis also has a little girl that he shares joint custody with, and every once in a while I get to pick her up. And recently I picked her up from her mom. Right when I pull up, her mom is standing there with my granddaughter and her cousin, a little boy. And right when she gets in the car, she goes, "Papa, will you take me to McDonald's?" I said, "Sure." And right away her little cousin pipes up and he goes, "You're going to McDonald's? That's bad, and that makes you bad." I just turned around and shook my head no, and she turns to her cousin and says, "My papa says if you need to shut the fuck up." As we're driving away, she's going like this. And her mom calls me right away. She's all mad. And I'm like, calm down, calm down. She's just being 3. But I don't feel like a grandparent. Is there any other grandparents here tonight? Anybody else? Oh, okay. Oh, and you folks, you know how I feel, right? I mean, I don't feel like a grandparent. Look at me. I'm only 56 years old, and I'm in perfect physical shape. And I don't think that you're judging me fairly. I sweat through my other shirt, and I had to throw this on at the last minute here. It's my Halloween costume. And what is bloated Charlie Sheen? That's why I look like 2.5 men. But I really am trying to lose weight. Is anybody else? Really? It seems like there should be more. I mean, you folks know I can see you, right? I can't see everybody's faces. I can see shapes. But no, really, we don't feel like grandparents until we have a realization that happens, right? Until something occurs. For my wife, it was one day we walked into our bedroom. We saw our oldest granddaughter going through my wife's jewelry box. She's taking the jewelry out and trying it on, looking at herself in the mirror. Tears started to roll down my wife's cheek because we'd seen our own daughter do this with her grandmother's jewelry box. It seemed just like yesterday. My grandpa realization actually occurred after something had happened when I realized I just licked whipped cream off of somebody's grandma. Is that like what happened with you folks? I have to tell you, if you do want to try this, you want to use the stuff in the tub, right? Not that spray stuff. It doesn't hold up very well during, hot flashes. My wife and I were at dinner the other night with some friends, and the subject came up about faking orgasms. Anybody else ever talked about this before? And I said, look, my wife and I have been together for a long time, and I know that she's never faked an orgasm because she would never give me the satisfaction. And she said, you're right, I never have, but I could. And I said, no, you could. She said, yes, I could. Watch. She goes, oh. Right? I thought, oh my God, she's been faking all of them. But my wife and I have been married for 32 years now. Thank you. And things are different, especially in the intimacy department. For example, the other night we were laying in bed next to each other, and I asked her, so you want to fool around? She texted me back and said, sure. Who is this? Folks, you've been a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you very much. Really quick, we had a friend of ours from here at our club that's not with us right now anymore, and just if everybody could just give a big round of applause for our friend Evan, okay?
Evan!
And now somebody who's really funny, who I've only known for a very short period of time, but she really is one of my favorite comedians, Mary Upchurch.
Comedy tour. Man, if it was my show, I'd call it Arrive, Delight, and Stay Until the Appetizers Are Gone. But that's just me, Mary. Hi, I'm Mary. For those of you who don't know me, you might recognize me though from the People You May Know section of Facebook. I appear regularly there. It's not weird. People you may know. I like to call it guys I made out with once on a weekend trip to Flagstaff. And their families. That's my life. You get somebody's number, you put it in your phone, a couple months later, Facebook's like, hey, remember this guy? Nope. So, I thank you so much, Mike, for inviting me to be on your show. It's really nice, and I know you're all wondering, like, how do shows happen? How do they get produced? Like, what is the selection process? It's not that sophisticated. Mike sent me a text at 2 a.m. and it said, "Do you want to open for me?" I said, "Not without dinner first." Still waiting for the dinner, right? So, I'm single. I talk about it a lot. I complain about it a lot. It's rough out there. My friends, they try to help me out. Every couple months they plan, and they find it necessary to plan a girls' night out. Yeah, girls' night out. These are women with husbands at home who care about them, who cuddle them at night, and kids to make them dumb shit out of macaroni. Like, every night is girls' night out for me, okay? If I go check the mail, it's girls' night out. When I put on activewear and pretend to go to the gym, it's girls' night out. If I go out to get a burrito, it's girls' night out, dinner party. Hell, if I wear a V-neck shirt, it's girls' night out. Speaking of burritos, I'm half Mexican. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I am. My mom, she's Mexican, and having a Mexican mom is really great when it comes to dinner time. But not so great when you need help with your history homework and your dad is still at work. I'd ask my mom, I'd be like, this was 1987. I couldn't ask Siri, I had to ask Sabina. And I'd ask her, I'd be like, "Mama, who's JFK?" She'd be like, "Oh, John F. Kennedy. He was the most handsome president of all the presidents, and he and Marilyn Monroe, they ling all over the place, and his wife, Jackie, no like it, and the mafia don't like him, and they shoot him, and they kill him, and they all dead." So I failed history. For those of you who might know me, do I sound a little different to you guys? I got Invisalign. So yeah, neat, huh? Yeah. Because I'm all about self-improvement. As long as it doesn't entail eating right or exercising, I will do it. So here we go. I'm always looking for opportunities, just trying to be ready for those opportunities, Like, I got pulled over last Friday. And the police who pulled me over, he was like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I'm like, "Because we're meant to be together." And then he was like, playing hard to get. He's like, "Let me see your license and registration." I'm like, "Why? You want to know where I live?" Because it's close to here. He's like, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I'm like, "Ooh, I can slow down if you like." And he's like, "Be here, August 7th, 10 a.m. I'm like, "It's a date! At the courthouse!" Nice. And then he pulled me out of the car and beat the shit out of me. So, I'd say we're getting pretty serious. It just feels like everybody else, they find love so easy, Like, I went to school with a girl, and she had 3 kids. She was living in a women's group home, and somehow she meets a guy, gets married, and has a kid. And gets divorced, has another kid. Like, another girl I worked with, the day after her divorce, her coworker professed his love to her, and they got engaged and moved to Chicago. I worked at Men's Warehouse for 10 years. A warehouse for men. Do you know how many inseams I've measured? No joke, that Men's Warehouse was next to Camp Pendleton, the largest Marine Corps base in the country. I was just trying to support the troops. Find a troop to support me. Oh, well, I guess I should be careful though. There's a lot of weird people out there. One of my friends, she came to me, Allison, she came to me and she was like, "Mary, this is so weird, you gotta help me. This guy, he keeps leaving things at my doorstep and he's like writing me notes and he calls and texts me all the time." I'm like, "What is there to worry about?" Seriously, if I found a guy who called me a lot and gave me gifts, I would invite him in. That is what I call a keeper. I would lock him in my closet and force him to give me compliments every morning before work. Keeper. I really should be careful though. You know, I hear this story a lot on the news, and you've probably heard it too. Like, somebody got fondled at Massage Envy. And it's not right, you know, it's so upsetting. You go in for a massage and you come out fondled. And every time I hear this story, I just have one question. Where is that massage envy? Because I've been to a lot of them. I mean, what do you gotta do to get that treatment? Is there like a wink or a handshake? Do I use promo code Tony? I mean, what do I gotta do? I need to figure something out quick though, because my 20-year high school reunion is in about 3 weeks, and I'm freaking out. I need a date, really. It's neat though, they're planning it on Facebook, and it's kind of expensive. Like, tickets are about $80. And people are complaining, they're like, oh, so much money, and I agree, it kind of is. But don't complain about it on Facebook. If you haven't saved $80 in 20 years, please don't go to the reunion. I don't want to get drunk and accidentally hook up with you. My name's Mary Upchurch. You guys have been great, thanks so much. Keep it going with this next comic. This next comic has really restored my faith in the U.S. Correction Division Society. Correctional things. You know, I've really invited many ex-cons into my life because of this guy. Please welcome Bob Rocky.
Give it up for Mary Upchurch.
Yeah, she represented me in court. Yeah, I haven't been this dressed up since I was in court, swear to God. I have parole officers here, so I have to look. Woo! Got my haircut at the art sale on the way here. Anybody ever fall for that trend? The guy looked like Michael J. Fox and shook like him, and I took my life in my own hands. Tell me about it. I'm glad to be on this show. I really am. He did a good job. I bought an ashtray. Haircut came with it. I saw him trying to light a cigarette later, started a brush fire. Would have been better if I just got the hand job from him. Oh yeah, you arrive, offended, leave, and locked my keys in my car on the way here too. Did anybody ever do that by round of applause? Anybody? You don't have to just admit that you're dumb. It's just sometimes it happens. Yeah, stupid. Yeah, did that. But the crazy thing is that I did it in front of a Planned Parenthood, and I was terrified to go ask them for a hanger. Try being in that one. Woo, with a haircut like this, sweating. Pretty awesome stuff, huh? Woo, got that going for me. That's a line. How about, so let's give it up for Tony. Tony Visick's been doing this since 1918. Tony told me about a movie. He was in Tarzan in 1918. He was like a key grip or something. He was going on the place, probably still telling the story of that. Oh my gosh. What I had notes because my mind is gone. I had a headache for like 5 days. Anybody ever? My wife's had a headache for 5 days once. I had divorced her. I remember that when I was younger, which was not too long ago, sir, but I was younger, and I remember, guys, you guys will probably relate to this a little bit more, but when I could cut my pee off in midstream. Think about it. What are you doing right now in your chair? You're trying to but that thing would just stop in midstream, and now it takes me about a minute before I wake up, which is not good. Hooker pose. Yeah, I have to wear chamois boxers because I dribble so much after I go to bed. It's age. I would wear the briefs, they don't make them. It's terrible, the memory, and then the urine. The family place, we all got that going. I had my appendix out a couple months ago. I don't know if anybody's ever had that wonderful procedure done. But when you have to get your appendix out, you have to get it out. There's no, there's no ifs, ands, no gray area in that. So I'm sitting on some kind of morphine or something, not feeling any pain at that time, but the surgeon comes in and she gives me a small history lesson on the appendix, and that's exactly what I wanted. She goes, you know, Bob, the appendix, it's a 3 to 5 inch useless organ. And I said, whoa, I already got one of them, Doc. Make sure you get the appendix, will you? It was a long surgery. Everything came out okay, though. Yeah, the appendix. I had to recuperate. We recuperated at home with Percodan and Percocet and Vicodin and all the Dans and the Dillies and the thingies, and I watched a lot of sports movies because I just like that. Sports movies are great, like Rocky. Anybody seen Rudy? Woo! Whoa! Go Rudy! Fucking crazy kid. Son of a bitch. He's great. Never gave up on his dream. The best sports movie ever made, and I think you'll agree. You ready? Deep Throat. Training involved in that. And it's Deep Throat, Arrive, Offend, Leave. What else can you do? Speaking of Deep Throat, I grew up on Van Buren. Anybody? I grew up where the men were men and so are the women. Now you know that. By round of applause, how many are natives of Phoenix? Those that are brave enough to say that. I'm a 5th generation Van Buren. And it was awesome. I went to school. I was scarred from the time I went to grade school. I was born and raised on Van Buren. I went to a school by the name of, I'll just spell it, B-A-L-S-Z. Balls. We didn't live up to our reputation. We were the Balls Tigers. We were ferocious, but we were an all hands-on school. We were a full contact school. And I learned, my favorite year of my whole life was the 6th grade. And 6th graders in the crowd now today, and also even the guys did the same, was the year of the boner for me. 6th grade. Think about it. I'm in the back of my math class in those little desks. Boy, I'm getting old. I can't do this much longer. Anyway, I get called on. I'm daydreaming. I think about Farrah Fawcett or Billie Jean King or something because they worked back then. Billie Jean King did it for me. So I get called to go and solve a math problem up on the chalkboard. I've got a ranger. What am I going to do? I'm in the back of the class. So I learned early how to walk with a boner. There's 3 ways to walk, okay? 3 ways to walk in a grade school. When you get up, there's one way where you look like you got a bad back, okay? And so you walk, I like Groucho Marx. I usually get out of breath by this because this is all the cardio that I ever do. And the second way would be the left leg out. If you're a lefty, you can do it with your righty too. You know what I'm saying? And the other way would be to just go stand up and proud. Now it doesn't make a difference because I haven't seen it in such a long time. Terrible. Grade school, high school was just the same. Didn't walk around with a lot of boners, but I still made some very, very bad decisions. I don't know if they're bad, they're just weird decisions. I was a doper. I don't know, I smoked weed and did all that other stuff as a young teenager. See, no cardio, don't do it. The carotide's closing up. If I go down, would somebody please give me? It goes down. So anyway, my buddy and I found a bunch of these pills in high school, right? We're freshmen. And we started taking them. We didn't know what we were taking until we looked at the label. Estrogen. We didn't know what estrogen was, so we kept taking it. Yep. I started decorating, he grew tits. And we both took a little river dance class. I can't do, don't ask me to river dance. I'll fall down all the time. Other different things that I've chosen to do under the influence. that caused me strife and way to learn in life is I had this one idea, followed through with it, that I was going to rob a bank with a hooker. Your car's okay. I don't want your cars. They're okay in the parking lot, but I did. And you're probably wondering, why do you rob a bank with a hooker? Well, hookers go off too. A well-oiled hooker is just as dangerous as a 45. I didn't get away with it. I got caught. Same bad decision, but I learned from it. Okay, so hence my parole officers in the crowd as well. And so being in prison, you learn a lot of stuff, but you also have a lot of time on your hands. Okay, so I'm in prison and I'm in an arts and crafts class. You get to make all kinds of stuff. You get to finger paint. You get to paint by numbers, and you make different stuff with like paste. It's just like being in kindergarten with paste and construction paper. So I'm in this class, and this guy comes up to me. He's about 6'9". He's about 300 pounds. We called him country because he had an IQ of thread. And he comes up to me and he hands me this box, and he goes, "Here, Bob, I found some bullets." Bullets? Well, why are you giving me bullets? And I look at them and they were tampons. I said, "These are tampons. They're kind of like bullets." So I started thinking, what am I going to make with them? I could make like those ghosts for Halloween, you know? I could make those. But I decided I'm going to make some real quiet wind chimes. I learned. They're a big hit. 5 postage stamps, that's all I know. So I learned to, now, obviously I'm out, and when I get stopped by the cops, it can go one of two ways, but it usually turns into an episode of Cops. And that turns into an episode of Lockdown. And that turns into an episode of Survivor. And that turns into an episode of Naked and Afraid. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bob Rocky, that's my name. Thank you, thank you! Thank you, keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen this lady perform when she started. She is bright, she is funny, and she's hot. Let's give it up for Lee Hout, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, I'm Lee. How you guys doing? So I always thought of myself as like a strong, independent woman, just like Beyonce taught me to be. And that was until I dropped out of school, moved back home, and stopped working for a year. Like instead of a gradual backslide, I decided to just fail all at once, you know. Go full millennial. Like college really wasn't working for me. They would assign like 60 pages of reading a night. And I'm like, I don't even read the directions for my birth control. Like at this point, I'm just eyeballing it. So after I dropped out of school, I moved back home with my dad, which was a horrible idea because we're the same person. Both like over dramatic, whiny, make everything about ourselves, which could explain why my mom left. I mean, she died, but she was like, "You guys are insane. I'm out of here." As like the dead mom joke. You're welcome. You guys are totally allowed to laugh at my dead mom. It's fine. She's not gonna haunt you like she does me. It's fine. But I just think it's really healthy to laugh when something tragic happens. Because I know the hardest time for me to deal with her passing is during the holidays. She didn't write down like a single recipe. I'm like, woman, you were the main cook of the family. Do you know how hard it is to make gravy from scratch? That year we used our tears as gravy. But after a few years of living with my dad, I decided to move out, you know, become a real adult. It was right around the time where he was like, "Lee, get out." It was crazy, all my stuff was already in the yard. But now that I'm on my own, I'm like realizing I'm like really expensive. Like I can afford myself. Like before when I lived with my dad, I could be my true pretentious self. I shopped at Whole Foods. I only ate meat from happy cows. And like now I'm super broke. I live by myself. And like the other day I ate a floor tomato. Just like right off the ground. You know, because I don't have the budget. I can't just like run out and get a cage-free, non-conflict vegan tomato. Can't afford that shit.
So I'm like, okay, I need a new job, one that doesn't require experience or a degree, because that's bullshit. So I'm like, I need a new job, I'm really thinking prostitution might be the way to go. And I don't know if any of you have ever slept with a guy before, sir. I don't want to assume anything. But you need compensation. Like, not thousands of dollars, just enough so it's worth me showering and shaving that day. And I really feel like prostitution is like a way better version of a first date. Because instead of getting paid with like a subpar meal at the Olive Garden, you can just give me like $50 in cash. Like, I can't pay my rent in breadsticks, buddy, alright? I'm an adult. It's like when someone gives you a gift card for Christmas and you're like, why? Just give me the cash. Like, I don't want to spend $50 at Kmart. I don't want to be seen at Kmart. I'm also like trying to figure out how much I would charge as a prostitute. Like, I don't know how I would set up that menu. I mean, obviously, there'd be a dollar menu for the kids. This is a ride the whole family can enjoy. But I don't know, I just feel like trying to figure out how much your body is worth is like a real dark version of The Price is Right. And I really don't think prostitution is that bad. I just don't think I'd be great at it at like a pricing standpoint. Because I have like a huge ego and low self-esteem, so I'm like, hey, sir, this body, 10 out of 10, A+, $10,000. And if you're like, girl, I got $4, I'm like, I'll take it. That's like 4 items off the dollar menu. Keeping it classy. But I know we talked about my family a little bit earlier. Got a little dark, dealt with death, but we made it through. But one thing I usually don't tell people when I meet them right away is that I am black. I'm just gonna let that marinate for a second. It was like, this took a dark and unexpected turn. Which is what people say when they meet my family. But I'm biracial, you guys can all relax. My mom was black, my dad is tragically white. And if you're gonna tell, he already gave me all of his like white awkwardness, so thanks for sticking with me. But growing up was interesting because like both of my sisters look mixed, they're like beautiful and ethnic. I mean, I'm not bitter, they just stole my color. I mean, I look like I came out of a JCPenney's catalog. Just like bacon, dead behind the eyes. Like the white side of my family. And like, I never know when to tell people that I'm mixed or when to bring it up in conversation because they react like you guys did, just like horrified and confused. And people can know me for years and have no idea that I'm black. And might be just me being dramatic, but anytime a guy is like, you white girls are crazy, a piece of my soul dies. Because I'm like, I can take being crazy, but don't lump me in with those other white sea clams. All right, buddy? And I finally invited my friend over to my house, and he was like, Lee, who are all these black people in here? And just to mess with him, I'm like, black people, we're getting robbed. He's like laying on the ground in the fetal position, sobbing. My family's like, God damn it again. We can't keep meeting your white friends like this. I'm like, they love it, it's fine. I never saw him again. So I'm like, I gotta think of a new and exciting way to, show people that I'm black, so I went on welfare and popped out 4 kids. People are like, wait a second, I can see a little something in the eyes. Yeah. But my dad never talked about his family growing up. Like, he was hiding something, but I was like, weird, because Dad, I already know they're white. How much worse could it be? So when I turned 18, he finally told me that his grandparents were in the KKK, which was a weird birthday gift. I should have known though, because like my whole party was off. There was like a giant white sheet cake in the middle of the room. Everyone was wearing white party hats. It was like a horrifying game of hangman being played in the corner. I can't get into the specifics for like legal reasons. But they never approved of my dad marrying my mom or having my sister. I believe they referred to her as a mixed devil child. But I was like, are you kidding me? I had racist relatives and they never got to meet me. They would have loved me and given me all their money. I just imagine their will saying, give it all to the one they call light-skinned. And yeah, it would have been evil racist money, but I don't discriminate. And I know I've been giving like white people a hard time, you know, it's not all bad. You know, so I'm like, okay, you should give back. So I found a nice white couple looking for an egg donor for a baby. And I'm like, take my egg, start a family. And she's like, wait, but you're mixed. What color kids are you gonna have? And I'm like, oh, I have no idea. It's like a mixed bag of M&Ms down there. She's like, oh my God, you can have a black baby? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll fucking albino and he might be tan. I don't know. And she's like, oh my God. She said, like, if we're gonna have a black baby, we would buy one from a foreign country. Thanks, guys. That's my time. He's the sweetest guy I've ever met. He's so nice. You guys are in for a treat. Jonathan Gregory.
This is by far the most beautiful crowd I've ever seen. Except for you, sir. You're drop dead gorgeous. Do you guys like hummus? I love hummus. It's made out of chickpeas. Have you ever seen a chickpea? They squat down real low when they do it. It's delicious, sir. Are you guys out there drinking beer tonight? I don't drink a beer anymore because I think there's a chemical in beer that turns you into a woman. Because last time I had a 12-pack, I got all emotional and bloated and I couldn't drive. And I had to pee sitting down. Chickpea. My favorite time of year is the holiday season. And every year, I tell everyone the same thing. I say, look, if you're offended by me saying the words Merry Christmas, please let me know. And I'll change it to go fuck yourself. Christmas shopping done in less than an hour. I just followed around a UPS truck. And it's great because all my gifts came pre-wrapped. And every time someone opened something up, it was a big surprise for both of us. When I tell you, I learned that if you try to do something nice for someone, it always backfires on you. Last Christmas, the church in my neighborhood was having a toy drive, but apparently they don't accept used adult toys. Maybe I should have went to a Catholic church. related to a very famous person. Turns out my great-great-grandfather was the very first person to put a razor blade into a piece of candy. Ancestry.com, FamilyTree.com, and WhoAreYou.com all verify that my wife is a whore. A guy in Tucson, Arizona, got blown up with a pipe bomb. I felt so bad for all those people that didn't blow up. And have to keep living in Tucson, Arizona. You got some NSU alumni in the house? You're the stupidest fucking people in the room. I went fishing out in the Tempe town lake. I caught a 5.5-foot homeless man. He was good. Tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up with a boner. I hope it's mine. Or yours. I found out the girl that I really likes. She's gluten intolerant. So I bought some gluten-free roofies. I started seeing this other girl on the side. I drilled a hole through the floor of my apartment. I caught her looking back through the hole at me. So I stopped seeing her. What a fucking pervert. How about we lighten up the mood a little bit? What do you say? Let's play that game, Would You Rather? Would you rather get a tattoo of a penis right here or right here? Did you say right down the middle, man? I went to Greece. And people were electrocuting their yogurt to stimulate the bacteria. It was quite the culture shock. Hey! But you'll never catch me eating in a frozen yogurt shop. I just can't trust food that oozes out of a wall. The last time protein shot out of a wall at me, I was sitting in a confessional. And it tasted terrible. And the guy was like, please forgive me. representation for today's youth. I saw this Mickey Mouse guy cheering up a bunch of kids, getting them happy. So I tackled him. Cut off his ear, ripped off that stupid hat, shoved a bunch of bees in his suit, then I set him on fire. You know what lesson I was teaching those kids? Because I have no fucking idea. Maybe the lesson was take the medication as prescribed. I'm a hypnotist. I can make people do whatever I say. All I need is a knife. And a gun. And a 4-foot strand of anal beads. Well, the anal beads are for me. No, they're for us. They'll be like Lady in the Tramp. Except we'll be backwards running away from each other. Y'all on my man? Guarantee you're getting laid tonight. Because I'm bigger and stronger than you. Merry Christmas.
That was a great fucking introduction, by the way. Hey, coming up next is the rapist. Here we go. And somehow I'm less creepy than John Gregory. Give it up for him one more time, by the way. You know that he's also available for children's parties. He is talented, I'll give him that. He is the only person who can make a Disney movie like Lady and the Tramp sound creepy. But one thing Mary was right about is I am from Buffalo, New York, and I was just there recently, and I was watching the news, and they're going over everything that happened in the first half of the year, and they had a big blizzard there, shocking, I know. And I was watching the news telecast from that, and the lady said on the TV, I swear to God, she goes, "If you're homeless, go to our website to see where you can seek shelter." Now, I'll admit, I don't know much about the homeless, but I'm pretty sure there's not many three-wheel shopping carts equipped with Wi-Fi. I was there for a show. I actually headlined there last week, and they put my name up on the marquee. I actually got second billing to a garage sale. It's hard to tell people in Phoenix, like I got a big show, they're like, "No, you got second billing to a garage sale." So I went there and I complained, and I'm like, "You made me second billing to a garage sale." I'm like, "You don't understand how big garage sales are here." I'm like, "Well, then you don't understand why I make fun of you all the time." My friends there, they're not very smart. I had one friend who, he got a DUI, picking up his girlfriend from the police station, who got a DUI. My only hope is that they have a KISS. They finally have a designated driver. I had another friend who's not too smart. She called me a traitor for moving from Buffalo to Phoenix. Traitor. Trader trader. I'm like, what am I trading you for? Hopefully somebody with good grammar. And being from Buffalo, of course, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Nobody cheers. The Bills' playoff drought has now reached 16 years. Their playoff drought is so old you can legally have sex with it in 30 states. When doing research on that joke, I found out that the legal age of consent in Washington, D.C. is 16, which means you do not have to be legally of voting age to get fucked by a politician there. Oh yeah, if there's ever a sympathetic group of people, it's politicians. Holy shit. So, I was watching the College World Series a couple weeks ago. A guy got hit in the head with a baseball, really bad injury, and they took him away, and they came back a couple of minutes later, and they're like, he's okay, everyth's good. We took him to a nearby hospital. And I'm like, well, that's good. Because that would be a complete dick move if they took him to a faraway hospital. I'm a fan of the WWE and the WWE Network, or as I like to call it, Netflix for virgins. I like to go to WrestleMania every year, and a WrestleMania ticket isn't as much a ticket as it is a one-year contract to remain single. I've signed 5 straight contracts. And WrestleMania this year, I had a great time. It was in Dallas. Dallas is actually an awesome town. Unless, of course, you're a president riding around in a convertible. I don't blame you for not laughing. That joke always hits back and to the left. Oh, yeah. President Kennedy, also a great guy, let me tell you. You come to the Arrive Offend Leave tour and you get pissed when someone offends you. That's awesome. You're in the wrong place. Oh, you want offensive? Here we go. So I talked to this girl on Facebook and I asked her to hang out, and it turns out that A, she's married, and B, she's my distant cousin. Yeah, that really grossed me out. I mean, I had no idea she was married. Yeah, the last girl I dated was a special ed teacher, and she dealt with kids with really bad behavioral problems. Those kids, they spit on her, they choked her, they pulled her hair. Yep, that's not funny. Yeah. Yep, and once in a while they did things that did not turn her on. I know you want to laugh. I've been shot down so many times on social media, my profiles are now sponsored by Malaysian Airlines. Yeah. I've had no luck in the dating scene lately. I dated a female cop. During foreplay, she wrote me a speeding ticket.